Alright, welcome everybody to my in-depth guide on how to get Gladiator. I'm so very excited. I've been working on this for a long time, and I'm going to give you my system that I used to get Gladiator. Alright, so we're going to start at the beginning, good foundation. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to one trick a class and a spec, okay, and commit to it. The next thing you need to do is you need to find which comps work with that, something in the meta. Um, so story time, I'm going to show you how I did it, and I'll pull up my check PvP for you guys. Alright, so boom. Here is my story on my progression through the years in World of Warcraft Arena. In Legion, I was deployed. I did not have time to play. Um, I started playing in BC. I came back in WoD, and I played, pretty casually. I've always had a determination to win climb rating. Um, and then when BFA hit, I was back from deployment. I had plenty of time to play, and I decided to take it more seriously. Um, and as you can see here in season 1 and 2, I got duelist. I've always been a person, like I said, very competitive, desire to win, but I wasn't like the greatest. And I've always played WoW for Arena specifically. Um, and so I took a break in season 3, played more casually, but fast forward season 4, um, I really made a decision. I said to myself, listen, I'm tired of being hard stuck 2K 2200. I'm going to actually dedicate myself to getting Gladiator, and this is what I did. I'm going to give you my strategy. Um, so for a frame of reference, uh, I'd like to say that for me personally, I played, and I don't recommend this, for health reasons, but I played about 16 hours a day for about 10 months straight. Um, I would start at noon and I'd play until 4 in the morning. I had money to support myself, so I didn't need to like worry about, working or doing anything like that. Um, so my typical day at a glance is I would wake up, 11, get food, start playing at around 12. Um, and so I would play, but more importantly, I would record all of my games. Um, and so that's going to come into a big part of how I got Gladiator in a little bit. Um, so I'd wake up, start playing, start reviewing VODs of the previous session, and because I used to play poker very competitively, um, I came across a excellent book called The Psychology of Poker, and it broke out a very important aspect of learning and improvement that I used in World of Warcraft. And so I'm going to show you that. So this is the process model. Just like in regular sports, before you play a game, you warm up, you prepare, and then you play the game. That's perform, and then the result, and then you evaluate slash analyze. That's where the VOD review comes in. All right, so I'd play all day, nonstop, and when I needed to take a break to eat, um, I would while I was eating, I would watch the VODs back. Okay, and I would take notes in a Word document, and I would timestamp the things that I had missed, when I was playing. These are things that, I realized that I can do better, things that I were doing well, things that I weren't doing so well. Um, Sometimes when you're playing, you don't realize, some of the mistakes you're making. So that's where VOD review is really, really important. And so I would highlight all the crucial aspects of my gameplay that I needed to work on. All right, and so when I finished highlighting all these things in the timestamps, um, I would create a sticky note on my desktop, and I would group them into three concepts, three important, the main things that I wanted to focus on for my next session. Okay, um, and you will repeat this process. Like I said, I did this for 10 months until I finally reached Gladiator. VOD review comes with not only reviewing your own gameplay, but also reviewing gameplay of already established players. Like for me, I play Fire Mage, so I would watch videos on Hansel, on Zaryu, all of their guides. I would try to emulate their gameplay and incorporate that into my own. Um, and so that's the foundation that you need to do it. Um, as far as application of that, I will tell tell you what I did. So, I mean, obviously, the hardest part of getting Gladiator is you have to have partners, right? Um, you can only get it in the 3v3 bracket, and you have to get 2400 rating or elite rating, and then win 50 games past that. All right. So my strategy was I went into LFG, I hit start group, and I put something on the screen like this. Looking for a team for Glad Push, Read, looking for dedicated players to build synergy with for a push, to get Gladiator, have a mic, and a willingness to improve and, whisper for details. And so I did this I sat in queue for like 6 months, man. This is not a joke, dude. Like, it's very difficult to find players that are um, willing to grind it out, to stick it out, because as I'm sure you're aware, you join a group, it goes well for a little bit, but then you lose one game and then someone just leaves and you never speak to them again. Um, so I recommend you starting the group instead of joining others' group, and here's why. Um, you can be selective in who you choose to play with, and you can use check PvP to look up players um, and sort out who you think will be a good fit for you. So that's what I did, and I would add people on battle tag. Even if they didn't have the most like experience on paper, if they had a good enough skill, potential, and a willingness to build synergy and just grind it out, I was down to queue with those types of people. Um, so after this period of about 6 months of looking in group, I looked in LFG for other players, because you can't just always put a group up. You got to search who's searching for other players, and so I found a rogue and a priest who had played together a lot, and they were friends. So I messaged them and I said, "Hey, do you guys want to queue some RMP?" And we started queuing it up. And just to give you a background on who those players are, the priest was multi-gladiator, but the rogue wasn't. The rogue had never been gladiator. The rogue was about the same experience as I was, but I could tell that he had definite potential. He had good skill. He knew his class, and I was, like I said, I'm down to queue with that type of person. And so we queued it up RMP uh, all season long, and we would discuss, how to beat certain comps, what we needed to change in our play style, in our setups, and all of that, and all those things. And so another important aspect is that we dedicated time each night for a few hours to play together and do this and improve. So just to give you a frame of reference for how many games it took me to get Gladiator for the first time, I'll pull it up for you. These are my BFA 4, Season 4 stats. I played 2,624 games in the 3v3 bracket. That's a lot in one season. I know BFA 4, Season 4 was pretty long, but that's a lot of games. So I recorded all the gameplay that we did together. Um, I looked through the VODs. I made timestamps, made notes, made 3 topics off each video of aspects that are extremely important for me to focus on for my next session. And I repeated that process until eventually, I got this bad boy. And the first thing I did when I got it, I went straight here to Elwyn and I toggled the walk keybind and I just backpedaled on Fool's Man, like just pure flexing, just asserting the dominance, because sometimes you need to do that. Um, so that is my full in-depth guide on how to get Gladiator. That is how you do it. That's how I did it from front to back. And like I said, I was not a person who had multi-Gladiator experience before this, or I didn't play with other people who just carried me or anything. Like I put in the work, I dedicated myself, and I just applied all of these things that I've laid out for you in this video, and that's how I did it. And if you did like this video, please hit that thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy it. That's all I have for now. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much again for checking out my How to Get Gladiator guide. If you want coaching with me, visit the link in the description and request a session. Thank you guys again.